What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. Back out at one of my favorite spots on the island here. You can clearly see why. It's just beautiful out here, so it makes a great backdrop for my videos. Only thing I have to contend with is a bunch of bird shit on the tables and flies buzzing around, but if we can get past all that, I have some cool stuff to share with you today. Kind of a bunch of information, but I'll try and get through it all here. So let's get into it. What you're going to see before you are a handful of Wong Design knives, and I will get to those in a minute. But first, I did want to send a huge thank you. This Routh Blades VR71, a viewer answered my call, and this is going off to a new owner today, and that will allow me to donate over at the GoFundMe page set up by Woodland Tactical for his younger brother Travis. And just want to say a huge thank you. The guy who purchased this actually has his own YouTube channel, so I would highly recommend you go and check out his also. His channel is called Twiggy Wolf, just like it sounds, Twiggy Wolf. And he's got a bunch of cool content on there. It's knives, it's guns, it's EDC gear, and his editing is on point. He actually makes much nicer videos than I do, so go check out his channel also. And again, Twiggy Wolf, huge thank you. Really super appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy this knife. It'll be shipped out to you today. So that's number one. Talking about these Wong Design knives, the reason I broke out all of these today, and I know I've had a couple of other Wongs that aren't here in front of me. The TS165 comes to mind, but both of those went out to new owners, and I'm waiting for a couple new ones to come in for myself. So these are the Wong designs that I have to show, and kind of wanted to just get a general theme going here, with the exception of the oddball here, which, you know, I've always liked just because it's a weird, random looking knife, but you can see there's kind of a general style with the Wong designs. He definitely likes the nice, long, pointy blade shape with that nice straight back look to it. Bigger knives, stuff that, you know, in the 8.5 range. So his stuff really fits my style. I don't know that they're the most work-friendly knives just because they're so stabby and so pointy, but I definitely, you know, I just really love the look of his stuff. It's all super cool. So everything that he's come out with, I can honestly say I really like all of his designs. And not to say anything against any of the other designers for Tucson, there's a ton of great stuff coming out, but it just seems like every time Wong Design knife comes out, it really, you know, it's just super cool. So this here is probably my favorite of all the Wong designs. This is the TS121, and I just love this knife. It's just such a perfect design. It's got every cool feature you would want built into it, with the wave type opening and nice big solid handle. It's just a really great design. So when this one came out, the 124, I know it was kind of a novelty with the girl pattern on it, but in the plain handle, it is also a very comfortable type user of a knife. A little bit different style to it. It doesn't have the same opening, and then they did go with the 12C27 Sandvik stainless on these ones, but the last one is kind of a hybrid of both of these, and I just got it in, so I figured I'd share it with you today and kind of go over my thoughts and feelings on it. So this one is the TS165, and you can kind of see why I consider this to be a bit of a hybrid between the two. It very clearly has similar blade shape to the 121, but then they went with the 12C27, which kind of has a nice, almost mirrored type look to it. So handles are kind of similar on this. It just, you know, it's got a lot of the same design features of both of these combined into one knife. So I wanted to check it out and see what I thought about it. I gotta say, there's just a couple minor things that yeah, not problems so much as maybe just adjustments that I would want to make on this one. But looking at this thing, I'll give you an overall measurement on it here. It's just about the same as the 121, but this is just a little bit over 8.5, with handle being about 4 7/8 total. Blade size about 3 3/4 on the cutting edge. And then I'll get some weight comparisons on these. The 165 comes in at 4.5 ounces. The 124 is 4.9 ounces. And the 121, 4.69 ounces. So it's right in between these two weight-wise. I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't realize this one is as heavy as it is. Double check that. Yeah, 4.9 ounces. So even though it's a little bit smaller, this is actually the heaviest of the three. Got no weight relief in there at all, whereas this one is skeletonized on the inside. So kind of lighten it up on this model. I believe this one actually has some weight relief in it as well. It does. This one is also relieved on the inside of the titanium. So that's where the additional weight comes in on this guy. But talking about this one, the first thing that jumped out at me was the fact that the back of the knife here also has what would be considered your finger grooves. I wasn't sure how that was going to actually feel in hand, if it was going to affect your grip and be uncomfortable, but I was happy to find out that it is comfortable in your hand. It doesn't really, it's not noticeable that those, kind of ridges are back there. The one thing that I thought was interesting, since he put the same ridges in the back of the blade, you would think that they would kind of line up with the finger grooves, but unfortunately they kind of don't really line up together, and I don't know, it's an aesthetic thing more than anything, but I thought that was number one, kind of interesting. I'm not sure that I care for that so much, but the action on it's really good. It has a nice snap to it. Flipper is really nice. Everything's functions well. Again, this Sandvik stainless gets just insanely razor sharp, and actually I usually hit these with just a little bit of metal polish, and it brings the blade up to a really nice look to it, almost kind of a mirror, but you still see the grinds in the blade, so very cool looking. Getting to the one area of the knife, of course, that I usually have issues with, it's going to be the pocket clip. So looking at the pocket clips on all three of these for comparison, the 121 is definitely by far the best of all of his designs pocket clip wise. The 165, while it doesn't look like it would be terrible, it's got enough of a ramp to it. The one thing that's kind of interesting is the fact that this cutout, this milling in the handle, happens to line up right there with the pocket clip. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It actually catches right there on the edge of that ridge. So I would say probably gonna want to take a Dremel and just knock that little inside corner off the edge of the pocket clip so it doesn't catch right there, and that would allow a little bit more space. That might break in and stop catching right there eventually. But the other thing that almost makes this pocket clip not so usable is the fact that it lines up directly there with the cutout for the lock. So when you go to slide this thing into your pocket, it wants to hook right, get to focus, it hooks right here on the edge of the lock and bunches up on your pocket. And this comes down to kind of a sharp enough edge that it doesn't want to clear your pocket, but with the pocket clip taken off, you could always take a Dremel and just knock down that little edge right there on the titanium, and would make this thing a lot more user friendly and be able to carry this much easier. It's got decent amount of tension to it. Looks like it is just tall enough to put into any pair of jeans or whatever, and like I said, the ramp on the front of it is big enough to be useful, but just where it sits here and the fact that it kind of catches both on your pocket and on itself, those are really the areas that I would want to give a little attention to and fix on this knife. But other than that, I think it's pretty nice. Certainly not my favorite of all of his designs, but it's definitely not the worst knife I've ever had either. It is nice, it's big, it's comfortable, it's, you know, all the way around, pretty cool knife. You can see some of the other milling and style designs. They have a little bit of these grind marks on the outside of the finger grooves. It does have really good traction to it. There's actually no jimping up here by the thumb, but since it has a bit of a ramp right here, it's pretty comfortable. The flipper tab has a little bit of jimping, so it is easy to catch and operate. Running on bearings like I think pretty much all of the Tucson stuff is, so it's, you know, it's a smooth deployment, nice flip, nice snap to it. It's got these fullers running down the side of the blade, very similar to both of these other guys here, so you know, it definitely follows Wong's design stylings. I can't say it's my favorite out of all of them, but like always, I wanted to see what it was all about, so I got one to check it out, and I figured I'd share it with you guys, just in case you were curious. So this is TS165 Wong Design. You see, even put this nice little lanyard spot here, which I do think is a great area to put a lanyard. It makes it very user-friendly, so I think this could be a good carry knife. But that's my new one for today. What do you think? Have you seen it? Do you have it? Do you like it? Leave me a comment below. I also wanted to mention and send a huge thank you out to all my subscribers. I have broken the 250 subscriber mark. So as promised, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I've got some other stuff that I'm going to throw in there. There will be a Tucson knife put into the list of stuff that's going to be given away. And I have some other EDC items and gear that I'm going to put in there. So stay tuned for that video. It is coming shortly. I didn't want to lump it in with this one and have a 20-minute long video that nobody's going to watch. So I will make a separate video on that. But just know I appreciate all of you guys. And everything about that giveaway is going to be coming soon. So until then, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of the Wong Design knives. And again, out of all of them, I definitely recommend personally that you go and get the 121. This is certainly a favorite of mine, and out of all of his stuff, I think this is definitely the one that I would consider the most user-friendly. But that's subject to opinion, and I'd like to hear it. Let me know what you guys think. Until then, hope everybody's having a great day, and I'll see you next time.